Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have our my Roland E-09. I've been purchased this new several years ago. Been having it for many years, and initially the after a few years the display actually stopped working. Anyway, this video is not about the display, but I liked this keyboard so much I ordered one. I was fortunate to get a replacement display. I replaced it. It has been working since then, but after I purchased my Korg PA4X, which is below this one, this is the keyboard, PA4X, I did not use it for a while, this E09. And today, for some reason, I wanted to try both the keyboards for a certain tune. And then I realized that some of the keys were not working. But anyway, after playing it for a few times, this F here, the lower octave, sometimes it works, but now after playing it for a while, it has been working. This one and the G sharp. G sharp was not working. Now on camera, it seems to be working now, but I had to play it a couple of times. So anyway, the response is not there all the time. And that one and another key is B flat here. But now, no, sorry, not B flat. It is the, what is that? A sharp. Yeah, in fact, it is B flat. Sorry, I was referring to this one. A sharp key. This also was not working, but after playing it for a few times, it seems to be responding. But one key, however, is acting up a little. This one. Again, in front of the camera, it is playing. But see, slow response. It did not play now. So now it is not playing. I'm pressing it hard. It is not playing. So this key definitely needs to be cleaned. And while I'm at it, I'm planning to clean everything. And the last key here, I don't know whether it is visible on camera. Even the last key had a problem, but it seems to be okay now. The response is okay. So it is just this key, as you can see, that is problematic. And as I mentioned, when I open it, might as well try and clean up everything. I'm not very happy with I did watch a video. I think the quality is really not good inside. And because of the vacuum action, I think whenever we press and release the key, it actually sucks in the dust. And that's what must have happened. And my experience with these carbon rubber elements is really not good. You need to be very careful even with the alcohol cleaning. And in the past, when I tried to repair something else, it really stopped working altogether. So anyway, mixed feelings here. Let me attempt. I just don't want to give up this nice keyboard. It's a nice handy keyboard actually. It has some good tones. So I'll stop now and then put it onto my workbench and open up and then see what, or I do know what it is like inside. It's not very straightforward. I need to remove a couple of boards before I can access the keyboard here, because I did do it once for the display. So catch up with you later once I have it on the test table, the repair table. Okay, we are on the workbench now. Essentially, it's an old spare dining table. Anyway, it serves the purpose, and just have a small box to collect all the screws, screwdriver, and we'll start opening the screws now. Well, I had to remove all the screws that can be seen from the bottom here. Anything that you see here. In fact, initially I thought these screws may not be required because I have forgotten. It's been a while since I replaced the display. But after removing the bigger, the slotted ones here, it was still firm. So I removed all the screws here and here as well. So let us now flip it open and then see. Well, we have the bottom cover removed. This is the bottom one. This is the top. This is the key side. And well, that's it. Now it appears that this is a fixed position here for the ribbon cable. I may have to just remove this end and probably this end also. And there are small springs here. I'll show from a different camera angle later. So I'll need to remove all this to remove this module. So I'll be back when I'm done with that. Well, as it turns out, I need to worry about these springs later. I just had to remove one screw here at this edge and one screw here on this end. And I can actually, and of course, the cable end this side is removed. Now I am able to lift the keyboard off. So this is the keyboard and a close-up view of the springs. You can see the springs there throughout. There's a slight color difference between the white key spring and the black key spring, I think. Yeah. One is, well, you can make out. You can see the color difference. One is a little goldish. So throughout, that's the thing. And now I'll remove the affected keys. I think if I remove the spring here, I should be able to slip the key out, and then I'll see if I can clean the pads there. So I'll be back once I have the camera at the right angle. Okay, the keyboard is removed and placed on the bench. So it is the F-sharp key here, and also we have a few here, but this is the one which is really not at least these to some extent they're working, but of course I'll come back to these. This is the first one which I'm going to remove. And I think to remove this, I may have to remove the F key first, the F spring here, and then remove this one. So let me make an attempt and I'll come back and show it on the video. So it's the F-sharp key. So let me remove the F key first. Which is the best way? One spring off. So this is the F key. So I can see that it gets released. Yeah, there is a hook here, L. I think that goes here, so it comes off easily. And now for the black key. Fairly simple. So that's a spring. Done. I find that this is a little difficult to come. Why? Okay. Here the hook is a little different. So nevertheless, it came off pretty easily. So now these are the things which we need to, in fact, I won't be able to access it straight away, as you can see here. Hope it is able to, you're able to see that. Now I think these are small strips. So I'll have to figure out and remove all the keys nearby to completely remove this. Otherwise, I'll not be able to, clean the pads below this. So let me figure out and then remove the corresponding keys to access the entire. I hope it is a small segment and not the entire length. So if it is a small segment, hopefully I'll try and remove this set here. Maybe one scale, yeah, from C to B, and then see how it works. If needed, I'll extend it beyond and then come back. Okay guys, I removed one octave plus one key. Sorry for the shake, I'm holding the camera. So this is the C I removed because I had to see this one. This is one octave here, beginning. And I have marked the key that was defective with a black mark here. So this is the one. But to approach this, I thought let me see. And I think I was right there. So beginning of the octave, I can see a joint and there's a tape there. End of the octave, this is the end of the octave. To access it, I removed one more key here. I can see a joint there, but I'll have to observe it closely and see if it's really a joint and there's some sort of a tape. And I didn't realize that they would have put probably something like a waterproofing so that there's no moisture entering. So now unfortunately I'll have to open up the keys, even the keys that are not having any issues, just to access this one. So what I will do is I will cut open this one, but the other on the other side, some of the keys, I think this one F here, and we have the G sharp problems, but then they seem to be working now after playing it for a while. So I'll leave them as is. I don't want to take a risk at the moment. Let me see how this goes, because at the end of it I don't want to ruin something that is really working, because the rest of the keys are all working. And besides, I just use this for the chords. I can always manage with the other keyboard, but this section is more important for me. So I'll attend to these. Let me open up and then see how it is, and I'll put it on camera again. Well, there seems to be some good news now. As you can see, the key that was defective, that is put back. This I was just trying it out, so rest I'll need to assemble it back. The good news is it's working now. I just need to touch it. I don't have to bang it, just touch it, it works. And the same with the other keys also. Here we had a problem with the F key in the lower octave and the G sharp key. And as you can see, this I have already, I had to remove the keys here. Every time you need to remove a black key, you need to remove the associated white keys. So I could remove this one easily, but to remove this black key, the G sharp, I had to remove the G and the A. And then did whatever I did, which I'm going to describe now. And I put it back and it's working. Just touch. Of course, this was intermittently working, but then now every time I don't have to bang it, and there is touch response on this keyboard, so it works. Now, this key also seemed to have a problem, but off late I didn't see anything, so I did not open it. Well, if it comes to it, I think I'll open it again if needed, but I don't see any reason, because I intend to use this keyboard continuously now, at least every week or so. Just I'll make sure all the keys are pressed and turn it on once in a while. Now, what helped? Well, initially I was planning to actually remove this. Yes, it is an octave here. It is a strip for every octave. A strip of this rubber carbon thing for every octave. And I was very tempted to open it, but then I thought, let me take a chance and see if I can clean it without removing it. And the way I did was, if you can see in this key, the only way you can uh, deform that is from the top. You cannot move it sideways. Of course, it should not. A key should not move sideways. So it's only up and down. And that way, I think whatever you do, the cleaning effect is not much. Of course, if you continue to play it often, I think it cleans itself, self cleaning. What I did, I just used a small toothpick. You can use anything but something soft so that you don't damage the rubber there. It has a flat bottom here. In fact, I filed it a little bit just to make it smooth. There's just a regular toothpick here. Why I chose this, I had other wooden sticks, but this diameter here, the diameter of this matches. I'll show in the camera later. There is a small depression inside each of these. As you can see here, two depressions. I think one is the actual activation of the note. Beg your pardon. One is the actual activation of the note. The other one, I believe it senses the velocity sensor. I think the timing between the depression of these two, that tells the keyboard, the processor, the velocity. So if you hit it hard, I think both make contact simultaneously, well, almost, and that is fast, so that it is louder. And if you depress slowly, I think these two get depressed at different times, which indicates that you're pressing the keyboard slowly. I think that is how it senses the velocity. And so what I did, I took this. There's a small depression inside of this. There's a small depression. This was the defective key. I inserted it inside, and slowly, very slowly, without being rough, I moved it up and down and sideways this way. If you can see it, I moved it sideways by depressing it, moved it sideways, and a little up and down. This movement is very limited, but nevertheless I did manage a little bit. Whereas this movement is possible, I rubbed it a little bit. So that way I expect it to sort of clean itself. I didn't want to be rough on that. If that rubber, the carbon thing is just a coating, I don't want the coating to come off. And even if it is throughout carbonized, well, good for us. But this is what I did. I just cleaned it up, left, right, up and down, and then before inserting the key back, I switched it on and then tried it with my finger. But then I wanted the real effect, because the way it depresses, as I mentioned, the velocity sensing. In fact, I can actually make the velocity sensing on. Now it is the keyboard touch response is on, and let us see if it works. This is the first time I'm trying. Yes, it's very mild. The sound is very mild. I'll increase the volume. Now this is maximum volume. I'm sure you can hear that. See. So that's working. Of course, all the others are working. There's no problem. So that's the story of the toothpick. It really came very handy, and I hope it lasts more than. If I had removed it, I'm sure I would have given room for additional dust and other things to enter. Since these are already sealed, I thought, let me try this. If this doesn't work, the ultimate thing is the final thing is to remove it and then clean. But so far it looks okay. Things are working. I'm going to put all the keys back. And then after putting the back cover, let me test it. I'll test it on a camera, and then we'll see how it goes. I'll just quickly show you how the inside of this looks. I'll bring the camera closer. Now this is how it looks inside those key pads. For want of a better name, I'm calling it as a pad. And this is what I said, the diameter of this is the same as the hole inside. So I just inserted inside that and then moved it left, right, and then up and down. And that fixed the problem. So let me just put the back cover and then be back. Well guys, the keyboard is now put back. So one screw here. Actually it's very flimsy. Unless the bottom cover goes, it is very flimsy until then. So the other screw comes here, and this is where I had removed. And long back when I replaced the display, I had to cut open the black tape here. I had used Kapton tape because it withstands temperature generally. So now I put back a long strip of Kapton tape just to hold it there. That's the only thing. So now the back cover comes, and then I'll put back all the screws. Then we'll test it out. Okay guys, the back cover is now back, put back, and let me turn it on. So it was this F sharp here, F key, and then it was the G sharp key. Let me remove the velocity sensitive. Okay, this was the key with the velocity. So now that is fully functional. This is also fully functional, and this one. This, as I mentioned, I did have an issue initially, but I did not open this at all. So these are the things I did, and it seems to be working now. So my Roland E-09 is back in action. Thank you for watching.